So what is going on, guys? I am Black Ops Amazing. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about the truth of the Origins ending. And the reason I'm making this video is because I saw a question in one of my videos. This isn't a Q&A, but this question did make me think about other scenarios, and it said, you did a video called The Truth About the Shadow Man, where you went back to see what he said. Well, now that more time has passed, do we fully understand the Origins ending? So I can remember the first time we all saw the Origins ending back in BO2. When everyone saw this for the first time, we all thought it meant zombies was just made up in the imagination of these two children, Samantha and Eddie. We thought this whole time throughout World at War, Black Ops 1 and BO2, everything we had done up till this point was just a game being played out in these children's imagination. And then of course Black Ops 3 happened and we learned that wasn't the case. Our characters, Dempsey, Nikolai, Taki, Richtofen, they did exist, we weren't imaginary, and then at the end of BO3 we found out that the house was actually Dr. Monty's, and it was in Argotha. But there were still some things now that Black Ops 4 is over and the Ether timeline is finished. Everything's been banished to the Dark Ether, the children went to the Cold War universe. In fact, as a part of the Broken Cycle, Revelations never even happened, and that's important because the Broken Cycle is what we are going off. If the cycle wasn't broken, Black Ops Cold War Zombies wouldn't have been possible. So every Zombies map that happened after Zetsubo Noshima, which is Garrod Kurovi and Revelations, they aren't relevant to us. Not really, because the cycle was broken after Zetsubo, but before Garrod. That is when Blood of the Dead takes place and all of the other maps we see in Black Ops 4. But going back to the main topic of the question, well, now that the Ether story is finished and we are onto Cold War, do we now fully understand the Origins ending? And so of course, the first thing we've got to do is remind ourselves of what happened.
As the gates to Agartha opened, the four heroes were rewarded with riches beyond imagination. From that day forward, they knew that Samantha would keep them safe. Forever.
You're getting everything wrong. I told you before their eyes should be blue.
It's my turn, Eddie. I can do whatever I want.
But you don't even know how to play properly. Girls don't know enough about zombies.
What's the choice of it, children? Make sure the windows are locked before you come down to the basement.
We'd better do what your dad says. I didn't even get my turn.
Tomorrow, Eddie. You get to make the rules. I promise. Come on, Fluffy.
I wish the heroes in our stories were real, Sam.
I know what you mean. But we will make everything okay. My dad says he has a plan.
Now, the first thing you would think as soon as you saw the Origins ending cutscene is that, well, surely this takes place after Origins, but this isn't the case. This cutscene actually takes place not too long before Revelations, which means, as I just explained to you guys, this cutscene actually didn't happen because Revelations and Garrod Kurovi aren't a part of the Broken Cycle. Neither is this cutscene because it takes place not too long before Revelations. This doesn't happen after Origins. That's what Treyarch want you to believe, but remember, as a part of the Origins Easter egg, what we did was freed Samantha and sent her to the house to Dr. Monty. Yet in this cutscene we can see Eddie is here, and Eddie didn't arrive in Dr. Monty's house until much later on, which means this cutscene takes place much later on as well. It doesn't happen right after Origins. Another clue that we have is in this cutscene you can hear Maxis on the intercom tell Samantha and Eddie to both put the toys away, make sure the windows are locked, and come down to the basement. We hear a siren going off in the background at the same time.
Girls don't know enough about zombies.
What's the choice of it, children? Make sure the windows are locked before you come down to the basement.
At the time when we first saw this, we didn't know what this siren going off meant, but we do now because in the Revelations intro, we can hear that siren going off again, and as soon as it happens, Richtofen enters Dr. Monty's house through the teleporter in the basement, which tells us whenever this siren is going off, that's an alarm to warn people in the house that someone's entering through the teleporter.
You little... Well, so far, so good. But things started to go wrong soon after you arrived. Now, I can understand your initial shock coming face to face with Maxis.
So the reason why Maxis told Samantha to put the toys away, make sure the windows are locked, and come down to the basement was because someone or something was arriving in the house, and we know what was arriving was the souls. The souls of Takeo, Dempsey, and Nikolai. We know that it wasn't until Gorod Karovi where the final soul of Nikolai's was collected, and it was in that map they were then sent to the house to Dr. Monty, which tells us the Origins ending takes place after Gorod Karovi, just before Revelations. It's in between those two maps. What we never really got an answer to is why Maxis told the children to close the window. I mean, he is telling them to put the toys away, so if they're not in the room, maybe he just wants to keep the house warm. But it is a little bit specific to me. Maybe that is the reason, or maybe he told them to close the window so something or someone can't get in. We know the house is located in Algotha, in Monty's perfect universe. During this time, the Apothicans, the Shadow Man, they weren't here. It was only Dr. Monty and the children and Maxis. So if he told the children to close the window so nothing could get into the house, well, I can't think of anything that Maxis would have been scared to let in, because they were the only ones in Algotha, not even the zombies were here. Maybe it was just a precaution. Apart from that though, everything else is relatively easy to understand, besides from one little thing that Samantha and Eddie say. As the children are playing with their toy zombies and toy versions of our characters, Eddie says to Samantha, "I told you before that I should be blue." Samantha replies, "It's my turn, Eddie, I can do what I want." Eddie says, "But you don't even know how to play properly. Girls don't know enough about zombies. I didn't even get my turn." And then Samantha says, "Tomorrow, Eddie, you get to make the rules. I promise." Well, we know that was a lie because 1. There wasn't a tomorrow. Revelations happened shortly after. The zombies, the Apothicans, the Shadow Man, they invaded Algotha, and then after that the cycle was reset. But we also thought this could have a deeper meaning. Whenever we've seen the zombies previously with blue eyes, that has meant they were controlled by Richtofen. All throughout Black Ops 2 their eyes were blue. That's because Richtofen was inside of the MPD. He was in control of them. Yellow, of course, was Samantha. We've had different colours as well. So we see Eddie in this cutscene saying, "You're doing it wrong, that I should be blue." Samantha's saying, "Well, it's my turn, I get to make the rules. You can have your turn tomorrow." During the time of this cutscene, the whole thing of these zombies having blue eyes and Richtofen being in control of them had happened. So maybe that's the reason why Eddie said this. It's because he knew that Richtofen, another version of him, had been in control of the undead previously and their eyes were blue. Perhaps he just said this for that reason, because he knows that if it was his turn, the eyes would be blue. But this is an innocent version of Richtofen, so I would question if Eddie even knows if another version of him was in control of zombies before. Would Dr. Monty or Maxis or Richtofen, whoever, have told the children that? Maybe Samantha told Eddie because this is the same Samantha that has been in control of the undead. However, her innocence was restored to her by Dr. Monty, or at least we were told. So that could be one reason, or another reason as to why Eddie said this. A lot of people thought maybe it was a hint to something we'd see in the future. Perhaps it could relate to Cold War. We've seen all of these things that are going on. I don't know when I'm going to upload this video, but we suspect at the moment the director of Requiem could be Eddie. And if we have him saying in this trailer that I should be blue and Samantha saying, "Your time will come, don't worry," could it have been a hint towards what we'd see in the future? It never happened in BO3 or BO4, so maybe in Cold War. But as I said near to the beginning, well, this Origins ending never actually happens. As a part of the broken cycle, this whole scene doesn't play out. So perhaps it's just something we have to ignore now because it's not relevant. So yeah, there we go. That was something really interesting to go back on and take a look at. Let me know your thoughts about this one in the comment section below. So there we go, guys. That is it. That is all I have for you for today's video. As always, hopefully you have enjoyed. If you have, you know what to do, drop a like rating. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest videos on the channel. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, goodbye.